and these guys surround me, and there's 3 of them. Same guy. One has a little shoe hammer.
Oh,
He's
shit.
I'm like fake praying, like, please leave me alone, and just hit another one, running again.
My mom is so right. I swear way too much, except it's not that I can't stop. It's just I really don't want to.
There's a new news article came out the other day that I wish I brought up on this, that once again, like another study about people who swear.
Dana White's favorite word is fuck.
Oh, it should be.
It's a great word.
Highly benefits
fuck
you,
is a
bro.
great word because it can mean love and hate, disdain or approval. It can mean so many things. Anyways, welcome back to Impaulsive, the #1 podcast in the world. That's a statistical data analytical fact. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. We have some dope guests on every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we do an audio-only extended Q&A with the guest after the visual is done. We get a little juicy. It's a good day. It's Friday.
Have I told you recently how much I love you, bro?
Really?
You're literally the man, bro.
Thanks, Mike.
Wow, what happened, bro? Last episode, you were a little salty.
Well,
that's
we
what
both
I'm
were.
saying.
Bonded?
We both were.
Yeah,
Okay, you guys
we're
cleared
good.
it? What'd you do to clear the air?
We just talked it out,
Talked
dude.
about it like fucking dudes, bro.
Talked
It's a
about it, rubbed each
passion.
other
It's a
off, got over
passion.
it, moved
It's
on.
a passion and vision thing, bro. And it's like, sometimes like
That's what I couldn't have said it better myself. Guys, I want to introduce our guest. He is a Hall of Fame UFC fighter with a record of 34-10. An NCAA wrestler and part of my French, but a motherfucking badass.
Run.
It's the California Kid, ladies and gentlemen, Urijah Faber.
Hey,
Woo! Holy shit.
crack-a-lackin', buddies.
We fucking got him, bro.
We secured the bag on this one.
We fucking got
Nah,
him.
Urijah
man.
fucking
Dude,
Faber
this
in the
dude's a
house.
fucking beast, bro.
Got a legend in the house.
Dude, I'm so happy you're here.
What's up, folks?
I was telling everyone you're coming on. They're like, yo, Uriah's gonna be sick.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
Legend, bro.
I almost had to jog here,
I know.
as you know,
Streets.
surrounded street work and whatnot. I'm like, bro, this is my 3rd route. I'm thinking about just jogging up to your house.
He told me. He's like, yo, the streets are closed. I'm about to jog. I'm like, yeah, okay. That's what you get when you invite a fighter on the show. They're down to just always work out.
Apparently, there's some sewage problems. I think Mike clogged the toilets.
It's a fact.
It just leaked out
Is
to
that
the
why they
streets.
call you Big Mike?
That's a fact. Had
Big
had
dumps.
Chipotle last night.
Big dumb
Huge
Mike.
dump Mike.
Yeah, dude. So, hey, man, I want to ask you. You're married, yeah?
I'm engaged.
Engaged.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Do you have a child, young baby human?
Yes, 2.5 weeks old.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What's the baby's name?
It's Callie Rain Faber.
Shut the front door.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
not a good one.
Callie Rain Faber.
Yeah, she's money. She's beautiful. Jaslyn, Callie, we'll see you guys back at home.
Is she, do you have a plan for her life or just going to?
Oh, big time.
Callie Rain Faber with a name like that, I'm sure you got something in mind. She's got to be an actress. Or
not as far as the plan for that goes, but I already wrote her a book. I'm just gonna be brainwashing her.
There we
on
go.
all I literally in the first person, Callie Rain, and wrote it down all the stanzas and keep her away from dirt balls and making right decisions and
Dirt balls like Mike.
Yeah, like Big Mike.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Big-
kidding.
big
No,
dirt
you
ball.
don't have to say you're just kidding. You're more
The
welcome to do
biggest.
that. Question. Your daughter says to you, Daddy, I want to be just like you and get in the octagon or just be a fighter. Like, what are your thoughts?
Well, first I'll be trying to push her in the opposite direction for most of her life.
Yep.
If for whatever reason she wants to take that path, I wouldn't stop her, I guess. But, I'm going to try to, soccer,
Why is
tennis.
Why is that?
Chess.
Oh, bro, this is a rough life, man.
I don't think
I mean,
many
you got a
people
little
understand.
taste of it. I mean,
Yeah.
being a wrestler, first off, like you step off of a wrestling career, which is free, by the way. You don't get paid. You're doing that because for whatever reason, you think you want to, get grimy, lose weight, headbutt people, get skin rashes, everything under the sun.
Yep.
And it's just not a fun way to make a living unless you're a special person. So I'll try to there's a lot better ways to make money, man. There are.
True.
And for a female especially, it's just one of those things where I will never shy away from egging her on when she has a passion for something, but I want to just encourage her on like some tennis, golf, some of that stuff.
Chess,
Pays
checkers,
cash.
like that kind of shit.
And doesn't get her nose broken.
Yeah.
So,
Man,
yeah.
I think I would have been a UFC fighter if I didn't fall into this.
Woulda.
Hollywood shit.
It's not too late, buddy.
Ooh, shit.
It's not too late.
Dana, you listening,
Hey,
guy?
Am I one of the guys that went to bat and said, easy transition for Logan to make it. I mean, now, granted, it'd have to be a big step of focus, and you wouldn't be able to podcast all day, unfortunately.
True.
You could do a podcast, but it'd be after a lot of training and whatnot.
Yeah.
But obviously, dude, we talked about it a little bit.
He's talked about potentially doing podcasts while he trains. What are your thoughts? Like,
I think
with
that'd
like
be
a
cool.
little headphone that
Like a
comes
little
down.
blood and guts never hurt anything for the ratings.
Spinning on a bike underneath the table. Just
I just want one. I just want one fight. But yo, just not to divert too much, but are you your engagement? You plan on signing a prenup?
Of course.
You really? Really?
Yeah, my girl's cool as hell, man. I mean, honestly,
Shout out.
Jaslyn and I are we were friends for years prior to actually dating. And you know, we talked about that, and we actually planned to have the baby before marriage and everything else. It was just part of what we wanted to do.
Awesome.
And we wanted to get started going on babies right away. And we'd probably do a prenup. You know, she's a hustler herself, and she's an intelligent girl, and we have a great partnership. But you know, I think that kind of stuff's important. You never know what happens in this world. And I know I have a lot of buddies with a lot of money, and the biggest way guys have gone broke is the wrong chick.
Is one of those buddies by chance Jeff Bezos? Because I mean, Mike will tell you.
All right.
Jeff Bezos.
Some current events here, yeah. Jeff Bezos' divorce settlement has finalized, ladies and gentlemen. That's big news.
Oh, geez.
Mackenzie Bezos, his now ex-wife, will retain 4% of Amazon's outstanding stock, worth $35.6 billion.
oh, jeez, that hurts.
Hey, but you don't know what her role. What was her role?
Oh,
What'd
she
do?
was, listen, she was by his side the whole time, but she is now the third richest woman on earth off of a divorce.
Hey, shout out, Mrs.
You
Bezos.
did it. Congratulations.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. But I mean, and honestly, I've talked about this with a lot of my buddies. I've got a friend who's been engaged for 10 years. And they've been going over the prenup situation.
Whoa. For 10 years.
For 10 years. They have 2 kids that are beautiful, that are, you know, they live together. They're a family, but they don't have the official thing. And it's a weird thing, man. I know a lot of really wealthy guys. You know, being a fighter, you get a lot of doors open to you.
Yep.
Meet a lot of cool people, from you know, kids dying with cancer that need some inspiration, to billionaires that are just regular folks. And the commonality is, you know, success is something that can be fleeting, but those relationships, and if it comes down to a split, there's serious rules, and especially in California, about what happens, and you got to make sure that you cover your bases on that front.
Man.
Yeah, if a significant other is given like a lot of like pushback on a prenup, is that a red flag?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I my last relationship, I feel like whenever I get in relationships, no matter like how serious it is, there's always some talk about marriage. You know, it's like fun to imagine. And she was like, fuck you, I want a prenup. And I was like, yo, that's awesome. Like, that's so attractive to me.
Hostler.
Well, I know a couple girls that have, I mean, will take the high road, and then I know some girls that will be like, you motherfucker, I'm taking you for every bit, tooth and nail. How about Hulk Hogan? You ever read into the Hulk Hogan deal?
No, what happened with him?
Hulk Hogan lost I think he lost you have to look it up, but I think 70% of what he had.
Oh.
And his chick, I think, from what I understand, ended up with a younger Hulk version, blonde hair, big guy, and everything
Well,
else.
you know what they say? They say the first time you marry for money, and then the second time you marry for love. For women, right? Because they take half the money on the first run. They're rich, and now they can meet someone they actually like.
If you choose right,
They say that?
Yeah, marry once first time for love, for money, and then love. Yeah.
Well, you know what they really say is you spend your youth chasing money. This is for men. You spend your youth chasing money, and you spend your money chasing youth.
Fact.
Oh my God. That's so unfortunately true.
It is true.
I have another one that goes with it too.
I've seen some happy rich guys, man, out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Seen some unhappy rich guys out
That's
there.
true.
There's another one where they say you could always lose money chasing girls, but you'll never lose girls chasing money.
That's true.
Yeah. Very true, bro.
Girls can smell ambition, absolutely.
Yeah.
As they should. That should be a good thing. Yeah. When people talk about like, oh, you got to watch out, because I came from nothing, you know, built my way up, into the fight world, which still wasn't the greatest. Even as a world champion, it wasn't the most lucrative thing in the world. And people are always saying, you got to be careful. People are going to be coming out of the woodworks and this and that. And I feel like I'm a good judge of character. And on top of that, I never really had a problem with the females in the first place. So for me, it was like an expansion of you meeting people. And I mean, sure, did things get easier if you're on TV, but it's still like kind of the same gig. And you have to have a good sense of personality. Is somebody in it for the right reason and whatnot? And that's up to you to be able to judge that character.
Yeah.
But I don't blame a girl for liking a successful guy. My dad had ambition. My mom has ambition. Ambition's attractive.
Yeah. Agree. Is kind of switching topics a little bit. Is there a facade with the fight game? Like you even mentioned it, even when you were the world champion, it wasn't as lucrative as I would assume most people think. Is there a facade when it comes to being a fighter? Why does a kid in high school want to grow up to become a UFC fighter?
I mean, guys that fight, and you took a fight, you didn't have to, you took a fight against another guy and you felt the energy from it. You got the satisfaction of laying it all out on the line, but there's something internally and goes back to the wrestling side. And I always looked at my wrestling career and was like, man, why did I do that? I did it all through junior high, high school, and college.
Yep.
And it was a rough sport. It's just something internal that wants to prove that you're the baddest dude on the planet. I don't know if it's an animal thing. I don't know if it's
like a primal
thing. It really is about getting things that you want, and it's the most primal way to do it. So I think there's instinctual about it. And it's funny, I was a human development major in college, and they talked about a study they did in kindergarten kids where they asked them all individually. They took them into rooms, like little boys into rooms, and they would ask them, hey, who's the toughest kid in the class? And individually, they all said that they are.
Oh, shit.
How old were they?
Kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
So then they lined them all up in front of each other in a circle, and only a few stood up and said they were the toughest.
Oh, dang.
And that's young kids not knowing they're an experiment and showing, cowering to other individuals that are in front of them because of confrontation. But everybody kind of thinks they're a stud until you're met with it.
Did they at least, like the people who ran the study, did they at least let the ones that said I'm the toughest all brawl afterwards? Like a huge kindergartner.
It was in a different country. I think they did in Chechnya, so they all fought to the death.
With grenades and shit.
Yeah, they tossed a bear in that circle out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like I did a lot of studying and with the humans, interactions and cultures and just, different developmental stages. That's why I have alpha male. I love the name alpha male. That's my brand.
Yeah, it's dope.
And it's more than just physical. It's mental. It's pushing through adversity. There's an alpha male ballerina. There's an alpha male.
Can a beta dude become an alpha male?
Absolutely.
Really?
What's
the secret?
There's a bird called a mannequin bird. This mannequin bird is known for, they do these extravagant dances. They travel in like groups of 3. And sometimes depending on the species, the type of mannequin bird it is, they'll be in as much as like a six man group. And they'll all do a dance choreographed together. And the alpha male will stay in the middle and all the other birds will kick rocks and he'll try to get laid at the end of it. So they'll put on a big dance performance.
They're like backup dancers for the alpha dude?
Wingmen.
And you're talking,
literally.
Wingmen.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So what'll happen is the birds, say there's 3 of them.
And now these are mannequins, you're saying, like in storefronts?
No. It's a bird.
So these birds will sit there and dance and they'll dance and they'll dance and they'll dance and they'll puff up, and you should look it up. It's pretty funny, actually.
I think I've seen these birds.
And then the 2 will kick rocks and the one will stay there and work on getting laid. And it's a big extravagant thing.
Why don't y'all do that for me?
We do. What do you think this podcast
Guys,
is?
take off. We got some girls coming over. So
It's definitely not as elegant. I think human winning is.
So this is the mannequin bird. So on top of that,
that looks just like him.
Dude, pull up a video of a dance. A video of the dance.
Pretty accurate.
Wait, so what are you saying though? Which one of these are the beta dudes?
So check it out. So they did a study, and the mannequin birds, if you're a wingman, your chances of actually being the alpha male at some point are heightened dramatically.
Oh.
If somebody just rolls on their own, that doesn't happen. So the more you help each other out, the more likely you are to get some top notch.
Well, dude, I mean, that's
some top notch tail.
If that isn't
literally some top notch.
If that isn't synonymous with what's going on this podcast,
Yeah,
ever since I
it's
started doing this
shrapnel.
podcast, I've been pulling Ella tail.
That's
bro.
called shrapnel. It's called shrapnel. Get hit with the shrapnel.
It's not that's a good
You
thing.
jump
though.
on the grenade on occasion, you get hit with some shrapnel later.
Is this? That's not the bird, right? That's just the lady.
That's the bird.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
So this bird, it does the moonwalk or something. Why is this lady? I don't want to see her.
She's
No,
showing
there's
us
some
the
better
method.
videos.
Did she just wave a fart? Did you see that?
Oh,
Whoa.
No, he didn't.
I like her too, though.
Yeah,
I like her
she's fun.
commitment.
Look at him.
I think she's gonna hook
Oh,
up.
he
with
just
the
does a
bird.
little moonwalk.
Some
glide.
Michael Jackson bird.
Yeah, you got to do the 3 in a row. It's funny because I my boy Chad Mendes. You know who Chad Mendes is?
Yeah.
Chad's one of the best fighters on the planet. He's one of the kindest guys on the planet. And he's got a business called Fins and Feathers where he takes like trips for people with celebrities to go hunting and all this stuff. And I've gone on a couple with him.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
You
It's
gotta
sick.
connect these.
Oh, bro.
Dude,
Dude, Chad's the best. His trips are amazing and you guys would hit it off.
really?
Yeah. And so I've gone out and he does these crazy, we went bear hunting. We went, shooting fish with arrows in the middle of the night. We went, did all this stuff. So Chad takes me out to this big ranch and I'm talking with these hillbilly dudes that are describing all the different like kind of animal things that are happening. And there's one goat that's like, or it's an elk or some sort of animal that horny animal. And it's got a harem of women. There's like 50 women in this one animal's like yelling and like screaming around and he's in charge. He's the alpha of that group. And so he has like 50 women himself. The problem is with that type of animal is they're also one of the biggest prey. So they're yelling, trying to get the attention of the girls, and they're herding them all in and this and that. And they have all these chicks themselves, but it's like a short-lived, like glorious life. It's like James Dean.
No.
From another
Hunters,
hunter.
Hunters, coyotes, other predators,
all of them.
everything.
Okay.
So they're, you want to be quiet when you're out and you're the prey out in the real world. But when you're screaming around trying to keep your chicks in line, so someone else doesn't come steal them, you're a sitting target. So that guy will get killed and someone else will stand up and be in charge of the herd. And then they talked about this one elk had a deformed horn. He broke his horn when he was young, so he had one horn. And so normally they have two and they go fight each other. And they hadn't seen any baby elk for a while. And the guys, they need the animals to breed and bring more because that's how they make their money. And so this one-horned elk kept on stabbing all the babies because it would turn the girls back into heat. So he was, because he had just one horn, he could aim it, and he was like
Devious little bitch.
he was like harpooning these babies. So they're like, dude, there's no more babies around. They found out this one horn dude who kept on snagging up all the kids, and so the women would go back and even his own kids.
Savagery.
He's trying to get
unprecedented.
the women back in heat.
Never seen anything.
Yeah.
Yo, I mean, my dad always told me my penis would get me in trouble when I was older, and good so far, sort of. But I've lost friends to their wieners.
Via
You see 'em-
penis?
to their own penis. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're chasing girls, bro. And
Chasing other
losing
people's
work
girl- yeah,
ethic,
yeah.
falling
bro.
in love, getting engaged at like 20 years old. Like, yo, shout out.
Yeah.
Also, stay hungry, my friend.
Yeah. Stay hungry.
Gotta keep your
Well, you
dick
need-
in check.
Well, more so, I think you need a girl that keeps you hungry. That's like the ideal
Yeah, that's the
situation.
big
Like a
one. Or a
girl that's like
motivator.
a motivator, or a girl, like you said before, that's attracted to that ambition.
Yeah.
So like when you stop like chasing a goal or chasing like the next thing,
Right.
she's like, I don't really want to fuck tonight. Because you're not doing shit. You're just sitting around eating microwave dinners, you know?
They push for big ambition. They're like
A lady
hey,
boss.
Keep going. Yeah.
Like
exactly.
a queen.
Exactly. But on top of that, there's, and I've seen it happen time and time again. Guys go after the wrong chicks and just crush their confidence and everything. I never really got that. If a girl does you wrong or something, like, all right, on to the next one.
It's just love, dude. Love is tricky. Like when you're in love, I don't think like typical rules of logic apply to anything.
That's true.
Everything goes out the window.
That's true.
Yeah, it's the worst seeing one of your homies just this. I call it the sinking ship.
Yeah.
Y'all just got to salute.
See you, man.
Viking funeral.
Yeah.
Shoot your flaming arrow.
Yep.
Light them on fire.
It's so funny when they
long.
come back. Like when their relationship ends and they come back.
Yeah, and they're like, "What are you guys doing?"
well, they start small. Like you'll just get a text from somebody you haven't gotten a text from in like 6 months, and it's like, "How you been, man?" And you're just like, "I know what's fucking."
Not to throw him under the bus, but Mark Donor. Yeah. I got these. What are you doing tonight, man? I'm lonely. I'm like,
Yeah,
Mark.
we haven't talked to you in 6 months.
nah, I love you, Mark, and I'm actually glad you're back to the light side.
Hell yeah.
Time to slay again. Broke up with his girl, lost 30 pounds, and he's looking good as fuck. And he's back on his grind.
Hey, you know what a good girl will do though? A good girl will find a guy at a weak point and get him all tied up.
Yeah.
Some girl, hey, you had a rough time. You had your downtime in your career.
Yeah.
Boo, swoop in and grab him, build him back up.
That literally kind of happened.
That's what my girl did.
Yeah, that happens.
His ex, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good girl.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And then
Great.
once you're flying, you just kill her off. And
You stab her with your.
Did that happen? I don't know the details, but you know,
You stab her with your
I'd
one
say
horn
you.
and you move on.
You harpoon her in the side.
I'm just playing.
Hey, would you ever fight an animal, dude?
yes, I would 1000% fight an animal if it were a survival situation.
sure,
You'd
for
have to. I mean, I've thought about that before. You know,
There's
going
that-
for the jugular and
Yeah, well, there's that dude that just fought that mountain lion in California.
Did you see that?
yeah,
He killed
yeah.
it.
Did he?
That was
Oh, he
money.
did kill it, right? Turned out it was a cub, but still, I
Yo,
mean, it's
I read the story on that. It was like the Revenant with where they slid down the hill with the bear. Have you guys seen that
he
scene?
did that?
Yeah, they slid down a hill.
Whoa.
Like they
Really?
were going at it, and then they both slid down a hill, and then he got the upper ground and just choked it out.
I guess the cubs are like, I don't know, like 30, 40 pounds, but it's 30, 40 pounds of razor blades coming
yeah.
at your
Oh,
face.
dude.
You know what I'm saying? And so
You
it's
guys,
like,
you guys are a little younger than I am. So
Maybe.
I'm gonna give you
Whoa.
some homework
I might not be.
on a great movie, The Edge. Have you seen The
it
Edge?
with
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin and what's the old dude's name? Whatever.
From Silence of the Lambs.
Hello, colleagues.
Costin.
Hannibal Lecter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Hannibal Lecter. But
Bro,
yeah, his real
You
guy.
want to talk about alpha male where it goes from like, you know, it takes into all the things of animal nature, but intelligence, how important intelligence is and thinking outside the box and persuasiveness. That movie is that's one of my favorite movies.
It's
Understatement.
crazy.
So all you young bucks out there that want to learn about life, watch The Edge.
I'm gonna add that to my list right now.
the trap that they set. at the
yeah,
end. Oh
when
my
that's the thing. That's why I
God,
brought it
bro.
up. They fight. They're getting tracked by a man-eating bear the whole time,
Whoa.
and it's like they're stuck out in the wilderness, and it's like they're either going to be killed or they have to kill the bear, and it's all about intelligence.
You're friends with Lance Palmer.
Yes, sir. He's a bear.
Little background on Lance Palmer. I grew up with him sort of in Ohio.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
He's our dads were family friends.
Wayne the Pain. Shout
Yes.
out Wayne the Pain, man.
Yeah.
If you get offended easily, don't follow his Instagram. But if you do,
Oh, it's one of those Instagrams.
dude, he's hilarious,
yeah,
bro.
we have a friend like that. But Lance Palmer, when I was young and first getting into wrestling, he was much older than me, but you know he won 4-time
Yeah.
state champ, all the shit.
And Colin, his little brother.
Yep. One of them wrestled a bear. One of them wrestled
Yeah.
a baby bear, and it was on Jimmy Kimmel way back when, again, like a decade plus ago. And I've always wanted to wrestle a bear because of him.
Yeah, that's
and I
funny.
ended up doing it. And it was a big mistake.
Oh, you actually did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrestled
It
a
was,
bear.
it was for a show of mine. Bro, the power of these animals, I can't even begin to describe how easily he could have just ended my life
Yeah.
like that.
Lance gave me the insight, by the way, on how he did it.
Wait, isn't there like a button that you press on the bear or something?
Yeah.
Like, you like grab
A little
him.
handy?
Yeah, wait, look.
No, I'm just joking.
You give the bear a hand job. He's like, yeah, I'm good. You like tug his shoulder or something.
It's a happy beginning.
So Lance said that the problem is everybody tries to go in there and actually wrestle the bear. And he said the bear's hips are like all the way to the
Non-existent.
ground.
Yeah.
They're like at the ground.
Yeah.
And so you have to play with the thing and go light on it so it thinks you're playing. And then you have to scoop at the hips and take them down.
So like underneath and just
Yeah.
drop
And
them?
so Lance's dad, Wayne the Pain, he actually worked at a animal reservation spot in Ohio. And so they had like a relationship with all sorts of animals. And,
Yeah.
and Lance grew up with those things. So they were all friends. So he'd wrestle the bear, but the bear was like his buddy. So he'd go a little light and take the thing down. Khabib too.
Yeah.
Khabib's wrestling bear, but his bears are like, I think actually like legit Russian.
in the wild.
Yeah.
That's possible.
But you outside the cage are not maybe wrestling animals, but yo, when I was younger, little side note, I had your picture up when I was working out, and we'd always aim to be like Urijah Faber. Like you were our favorite fighter, bro.
That's awesome. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, for real. Like
I remember remember we met
and outside of Vine,
outside of Vine, and you were doing an airplane on your little hoverboard thing, and you like rolled up and like you're like, hey,
yeah, dude,
what's up, bro?
Yeah, because you're so crazy. You come out here and you see celebrities like one by one. I was like, oh, bro, like I fucking grew up literally working out with this dude inspiring me.
That's cool.
How
man.
long ago did you guys
brother.
meet? When was that?
Maybe 5 years.
I'm trying to like imagine like the really old Chachi Logan.
Hoverboard
like,
Vine
Whoa,
Street.
man, what's up, bro?
It was like this, not making eye contact. I'm like, what the hell is this fucking guy doing?
I was getting
He
you,
was
bro.
like,
Yeah, bro. He did that all the time. I lived across the street from Vine, and I lived right on the street so I could see out.
Yeah.
And he would just scoot back and forth with Mark Donor like randomly.
Yeah, we'd just be getting it.
dude,
But-
Vine was a great place for me. I like that.
Are you still
place.
living there?
No.
Yeah, we got kicked
Yeah.
out. Great place though.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say I used to watch videos on you, and one of them like you talking about how you got in a fight in Bali,
Oh,
and
geez.
recently I saw you got in a fight. Like, are you getting in street fights a lot?
Well, that's not a street fight. That's a third world country fight.
Okay.
Which is not a regular street fight. That's like a fight for survival for your life fight.
Damn.
So what was the other one you're talking about?
I was recent.
Recent fist fight?
I thought so. I could be wrong, but it was in another third world country. Let me see if I can find it.
I got ran over by a car, just my foot in Singapore.
That was it. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, that was
the fight?
an accident.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Okay.
no, but the one in Indonesia was literally in 2005. Nobody knew who I was, and I was there with my buddy who was 6 months sober, and he didn't want to be out at the bars because it was too hard for him and this and that, and so I stayed out. I met these girls from Europe, and we were all dancing at the club and everything, and not tens necessarily, but we're having a good time. And and so in Indonesia, actually, they have women that come there to get wined and dined by the locals because they're like, they go there, and so there's chicks go there, and the locals are there. That's one of the ways they make some dough is they hang out with the ladies there. And I think I might have been taking some business. It was just me, a couple of chicks, and we're dancing, and some guy tried to start a fight with me. I blew him off. And again, I was a world champion on the small level. It wasn't even, there was no Twitter or Instagram or anything back in this time. It was like, I was on Gladiator Challenge and King of the Cage on, pay-per-views that nobody watched except for guys like Logan, and so I ended up shutting the guy off, and he kept trying to start a fight with me. And I go, you got a fucking problem, bro? And he's like, he doesn't even speak English. I go, let's go outside. And that was the dumbest move. Talk about learning from your mistakes.
There's like 10 of them, right?
It started out with him. I fought him. I broke his collarbone on a pot. There's this like monument for Australians that got bombed there.
So you bombed his ass onto it?
Yeah, basically. And then one guy shows up, has brass knuckles. I get attacked by 3 guys. Then I run into the club, and they're all bouncers there. I didn't know. Get attacked by like 12 guys. Go to the back of the club, go outside, run down the street, get attacked by 4 guys again, run the opposite way, get in a taxi, get attacked by 10 guys.
Just you?
Yeah, thank God it's just me, because if my buddies were trying to help out, we were trying to help each other out, it was better. Just me. Really? I was like literally run. I went into like I'm running further and further from civilization. Like you're getting into like huts and stuff like that in this direction.
There's like dinosaurs and shit.
And there's a Billabong shop. And I just associated Billabong with safety because that was familiar to me. And they had people sitting in front of the doors instead of having doors. So the people would just sit there and watch it. That was their job. They got paid like $0.25 to watch the front door. And so I like run in. The guy's like, no. Like trying to get me out. And I'm like, dude, these guys are trying to kill me. I'm covered in blood because I got hit with all these brass knuckle shots.
Damn, bro.
And then I come in and these guys surround me. And there's 3 of them. Same guy. One has a little shoe hammer.
Oh,
He's
shit.
like I'm like fake praying, like, please leave me alone. And just hit another one, running again. I'm barefooted.
That's evil.
I still got the shorts. I had a homemade pair of shorts there because I had a little clothing line back then. They're suit material. I had no underwear. I lost my sandals. I lost my hat. Lost my shirt. I'm like pretty much butt naked running through Indonesia, just get my ass kicked by angry people for no reason.
Did you drop a few of them?
Of course.
How many? How many?
I mean, a lot more than they dropped on my side.
Yeah,
I was one of me. I guarantee you. I represented for America. They're pretty. They're like, don't mess with little white Americans.
I like that.
I thought you were gonna say when you went to the Billabong shop that the Billabong people started beating your ass too. Like the lady came around from the corner.
I really felt bad because I was getting blood everywhere, and the guy, it's his job to sit there and make sure no one comes in the store. And I'm
gets
like,
blood everywhere. Yeah.
like face palm. I'm like, come in there. I'm like, safety, Billabong, America. I'm like, nope.
That's life or death, man. I'll do anything.
Yeah.
When you used to fight, you were huge on elbows.
Yeah.
Like that was your thing. I remember my dad and I would freak out when you just cut someone's face open with an elbow. And one fight, I remember you broke both your hands or something.
Yes.
So you literally
That was a terrible fight.
You were only fighting with your elbows.
Yeah, that was rough. That was against Mike Brown. I broke I have a steel plate in my hand still.
Oh shit.
The fourth and the fifth metacarpal. I snapped one and shattered the other. And that was Mike Brown. The second time I fought him. The first time I fought him, I did like a jumping back elbow and got caught. So this is the rematch in my hometown. And I broke my hand on his forehead, like put him to a knee in the first round. And then the third round, I dislocated my thumb. You can still see that bump right there. So I had no hands in a title fight, 25 minutes for in my hometown on millions of people watching at home.
This shit was crazy.
And I would just walk in close to him as close as I could and start elbowing the crap out of him.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I almost had him in the fifth.
Why you think I'm not seeing as many elbows as I used to? And even when we had Tyron Woodley on here, he said he doesn't elbow. He's thrown 3 elbows because they hurt. They hurt his elbows.
Really?
That's what he said.
You know, I remember I used to have, especially my first fights. I remember my first fights, this part of my knuckle, because I wasn't trained well enough in 2003, 2004, and I would just get crazy, and this part of my knuckle would hurt, my elbows would hurt, my knees would hurt because I was punching incorrectly when I first started fighting. Yeah. But the elbows definitely they hurt, but not as bad as your hands hurt when you're just putting hands. Yeah, there's so many small bones here. Elbows are money. I don't know why more people don't throw elbows. Yeah. You know who does? John Jones.
Oh my God. We just saw
him.
He
throws some nasty elbows.
He's lethal, bro.
It's funny you talk about things taking you out of contention in the match and you moving to elbows. I'm from the same city, believe it or not, as Nick Newell. Have you ever seen him fight before?
I was just talking to him today.
He has one arm.
Yeah.
And he's a UFC fighter.
That
he's
guy.
from Milford. And
cool.
we would always go to the bars when his fights would be on and we would watch him and he would submit people with one arm and the bar would go fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Bro. That dude is a monster.
Damn. Yeah. Have you seen Nick Newell? So
He's
Nick
right
Newell, so I was just texting Nick Newell. He just had a little boy also.
Shit.
So he was talking to me about that. But I remember Nick Newell went to one of my seminars when I was in Texas. And I remember him, obviously he's got a stub and some
past the elbow,
yeah, past the elbow. And so we were working on my thing was guillotine chokes. So I was making modified guillotine chokes with him, and he's choking everyone in his professional career.
Dude,
and then he
awesome.
actually they filmed a movie in Sacramento about Nick Newell, and I had a couple of my buddies in it.
Dude,
he's a good guy.
Wait, what was the movie you sent me?
No, that's my movie that we just produced.
What are you doing now? I feel like you're doing a lot. Like you hit me up about fighters. Are you still training?
Hey, by the way, we almost had Logan Paul Sage Northcutt fight. That'd be a good fight, bro. We were so close. This guy he's too expensive for us. He's too expensive.
I think Sage is like fucking good as shit.
He is good.
And,
Sage is good.
You know,
he wants CM Punk.
Well, first, do you want what really happened? First, before we get into all the stuff I'm getting into, Logan, I met Logan on the street corner, and I was like, he was super cool about, talking about his affinity for MMA and how he watched me growing up and whatnot. Super respectful. And so we kept in touch throughout the years. And then I saw he did this fight, the boxing fight, which was genius and an awesome fight, by the way.
Thanks, man.
And I was like, and then he had a TMZ thing or something else about the UFC saying, Dana White, I want to fight in the UFC. And I was like, bro, you ready to come train? You let me know. And he's like, all right, where you at? And so we were talking about that. Then 2 days later, him and Sage start going back on back and forth.
I call him Sage Northbutt.
And I'm like, and then at the same time, Sage became a free agent, and his dad was like not happy with the UFC and stuff. And I said, Logan, bro, this would be a one-time thing. You guys could kill it. You could get some real cred and like, you know, pitch the idea of him and Sage fighting. And I watched this guy's wrestling too, because I went and did some research. You know, 6th in the state in Ohio is good. Ohio is a tough.
It was 5th.
Yeah, 5th. Yeah, 7th in the state is amazing. It was 7th place.
It's going up now.
No, but at 185 pounds, and Sage just fought at 55. So I was like, this could be a big fight. But Sage is now signed with ONE FC. It's still a fight we can make happen,
and it very well might. I'd like to train with him, man, because just like sparring MMA guys is so different than boxing, bro.
Yeah.
I'm a boxer now, but realistically, I am so much more of an MMA fighter. Like, after this fight with KSI, I might do one more boxing thing, and then I'm gonna move it to MMA. Like, I'm gonna go in the Octagon to see if any YouTubers will take me there.
Let me tell you why you'd be a great fighter. First off, confidence is key. Second off, a grappling base is massive. Genetics and athleticism plays a big role, but the audience that you have, from the guys that are haters to the folks that love you, like, people will pay to either see get your ass kicked or to kick someone's ass.
On the business side, it makes sense for whatever organization takes him. I watched a video of him yesterday that his mom showed me of him wrestling a kid in the basement when he was probably this was 7, 8 years old. And the kid,
do you have this up?
I do.
The kid obviously was completely unwilling. Logan was just beating the shit out of him.
No, he was willing. It's my boy Sean Turk. Shout out Sean from Westlake. I'm actually probably gonna do a reaction video to this, because, bro, this was before I boxed or picked up anything. Like, we just fuck each other up, bro.
We used to do the same thing, bro.
Remember this? Look at the slow-mo, dude.
Like,
Yeah, bro.
just us beating the shit out of each other, dude.
Oh, that's great.
And by the way, we did this for.
Hey, is that legal, that move in MMA? Would it be legal to sit on someone and punch him in the back like that?
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, you got to really pick your opponent to find someone to let you do that.
Nah, but man, I'm a fighter, bro. Like, if
no,
I wasn't doing
it.
YouTube, I would be a fighter, and if I wasn't a fighter, I'd be killing ISIS dudes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I think you should do all those things anyways.
Yeah. You should fight it.
I don't think they'd let me in the army. Like, if you wanted to sign up for the army, would they let
me?
I don't think they would.
No,
I'm a little old now.
Yeah, it's not that. You don't want army. You want to go in with the contractors. You want to go in on the private side, because they'll pay you $1 million per kill over there for high value targets.
Like, or the special ops guy. The special ops guy. I went to a lot of USO tours, but I went one with BJ Penn, Carlos Condit, and Michael Bisping in 2008. Like, right after I fought Jens Pulver, and we did all these tours, all these crazy, like, land in all these different little spots where the guys are set up and whatnot. And the special ops guys, they had it made. I mean, they don't have to wear shoes. They can wear their hair however they want. They just they have their own little area where they're firing big ass crazy weapons.
Rangers and SEALs and shit like that.
The special ops guys. They're like the elite of the elite.
Yeah.
That would be something that would be fun or cool.
Yeah, that's the move. I wish I could stay young forever, because I got some stuff to do now for like the next 7 years, like with Hollywood and digital. But
I heard I hear you talking about what you want to do. I want to go back, because you were talking about the, like, what do you do?
What do
now?
you do?
Yeah, what do I do now? So everything for me has been around my passions. I have a book that is around just about that, and I wrote it back in 2011 about following your passion. And
what's it called?
It's Laws of the Ring.
That's tight.
And for me, mixed martial arts, combat sports is a passion. Business is a passion. Real estate's a passion. My dad's a contractor. My mom, small business owners, and then entertainment. I've always had a big interest in entertainment, and so I have a production company. We just finished our first feature film, which I showed you,
Green Fever,
which we're going to be coming out soon with.
I was actually really impressed, and I'm not just saying that. I see shitty films all the time.
Yeah,
looked great. The acting was on point. The trailer was dope. Just hope the movie's good.
And no, the movie's really good, and I'll send you a screener for it. And we actually have been working on a couple different projects, and we threw that thing together in a matter of months with next to nothing budget, with everyone that knows what they're doing. My partner Jared Roxburgh, he's actually an editor for a living, but he's a director and a writer. And so I threw my boy Andre Touchy-Feely in there, who's another fighter, and he killed it. And so we actually showed it to the first person was Lionsgate. We had an offer from Lionsgate and Grindstone, and so we're still in negotiations there. But it's just kind of a calling card for the next things we want to do to attract guys like yourself. If we want to get a talent attached and we say, hey, look, this is the budget we did with no name talent, and we were able to pull this off. Like now we're going to pay you some cash.
How'd you get a budget?
The budget is there's a line budget where you just figure out how to do it, but we just did the bare minimum. So we had a single location, shot the film in a single day. We had
shot the film in a single day.
No, 10 days. I'm sorry.
In a single run.
Location. Yeah. But the film, the movie takes place in a single day.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's from
I like
the
those
morning
movies.
then.
I like those movies.
Yeah, and it's easier to make like that. And then we used all like real like arm's length buddies for like actors that are talented but haven't had their opportunity yet. And we just have professionals. Jared and his crew are, they all went to school together. The DP was a super talented guy who's second generation DP, and we killed it. And that's just, to get the ball rolling on. I have like 5 other scripts, and I'll talk to you more about it offline too, about some of the stuff we're working on. Yeah.
Speaking of which, back to current events here. So we got news last night that evidently the people who were responsible for producing Logan Paul's Flat Earth documentary are now working on a follow-up film that allegedly takes place in Russia.
Wow. Meaning,
damn, I don't know. We'll talk about it after the show.
That's breaking news. Like this is just coming in over the wire, but it looks
like it's so fresh.
Serious.
There's not even anything he's reading. That's how fresh it is.
That is fresh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about it afterwards. I think the people behind the project are really passionate about it. Might be making another movie, maybe with that guy there.
How's the movie doing?
Let's go. It's sick, bro. I like obviously long form content as well, but I'm really impressed by your ability to branch out, and I think it stems from you use the word passion. You have a passion for these things. Like you've been able to not just be a UFC fighter, which I don't think a lot of people who retire from the UFC are able to do.
Yeah.
You kind of disappear,
it's
go
tough.
to the woodworks, become a coach or whatever. But you really branched out. Are you still training UFC or MMA though?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's part of my day. And real estate's a big passion of mine. My gym is a real estate play on top of,
I've got nice.
I got a couple gyms. I've got 3 in the Sacramento area, and I have a private little gym on the northern coast, which if we ever want to do a training camp, Rocky style training camp.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that would be the spot.
Why? Is it snowy?
It's not snowy. It's right on the northern coast. It's Point Arena, the most western point on the West Coast. There's 450 people in the town. I have a building with like 10 bunk beds and a little back gym. It's like nobody's out there. You can jog to the pier. It's just good food and isolation. It's badass.
We might have to do that.
Can I ask you a question about your pursuits really quick? Because this is something that I think about, and I think maybe some other people out there think about from time to time too. What do you, how do you like justify a new project, or like how do you decide what you want to do and what you don't want to do? Because it sounds like you've got your hands in like everything right now. Like what if something new comes up tomorrow? Like how do you decide like, yo, this is going to push me over my limit on time or on like bandwidth on whatever?
Yeah. And I mean, it's all not, rainbows and
unicorns and butterflies and shit.
It's tough being an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, you're like always looking for new opportunities. So you just have to learn your lessons and understand like what's your core values and what are you really looking for? What are the things that you're passionate about? And I see a lot of things, and especially when you're in the limelight, and I'm sure you guys know, people are always trying to pull you in their direction. It's like, you gotta remember what's your direction. And I've been victim of it as well. And there's a good analogy. Like if I want to sit down next to Logan Paul and he's sitting right here, I got to sit down and look right at him. If he gets up and starts walking and I want to continue the conversation, I need to get up and I need to start walking with him. If he starts running, I got to run with him. If he gets on a bike, I got to get on a bike if I want to keep that conversation going. So for me, I always have to remember, I can feel like-minded people, and I'm a pretty good judge of character, but it's real easy to get pulled in a different direction. So I got to remember, look, I'm going to pull people in my direction and not the other way around. So if it's fitting what I'm doing, you have to be a little bit selfish on that side, then that's kind of the key, because, You get good sales guy. A good sales guy can sell anything.
Yeah.
And they yank and they pull and they're persistent and everything else. So you have to keep on your focus and see, okay, who's playing on my level and who's into what I'm doing. And if something is outside but it makes sense, then I'll do it. But for the most part, it's like, you know, try to stay laser focused. And I've had issues with that in the past too.
I wrote 4 rules about a month ago when I was beginning to get inspired to create content again. I put them in my bathroom. It's like the positive affirmation manifest type mindset. And I think number 1 is stay in your lane.
Yeah.
I think that's a big, because I get so distracted and I'm a bit of a yes man in a way.
You also, Mark, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you also truly believe you can do anything.
Yeah.
I'm one of those. Which I'm that way too.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, like, there's somebody better sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So staying in your lane is important.
It's huge because I also, like, it can be disappointing or, I'll use the word disappointing. It can be disappointing when you have a goal to do something and there's someone already doing it full force. They've been in it for 10 years and they've achieved everything that you're aiming to achieve, but you're starting from ground zero. It can, what's the word I'm looking for?
Frustrating?
Like disheartening?
Disheartening, yeah, sort of. Yeah, it can turn you off real quick. So if you stay in your lane and you're competing with yourself, I think that's the mindset I'm taking on 2019.
I think you have to come back to, like, you re-identify your skill set. Because sometimes you're like in that lane and you're like, wow, I want to experience other stuff. So it takes wandering off to remember what you're really good at.
Yeah.
Like, that's a healthy process.
And I think the wording on that, I wouldn't want people to get confused where it's like stay in your lane, like don't explore like outside of your comfort zone. But like I think the point of it, the true nature of it is like stay laser focused on what you're trying to do.
And don't go into the, those pursuits where you're trying other things, thinking you can be the best or you need to be. It can be something fun. Like I made a song and it's just something where it's like, I want to make it and have fun. It was fun. Have a song that I can have to my name.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I feel like everything you do in life, like not everything you do has the same end goal. Like sometimes the goal is to make money. Sometimes the goal is to be creative or have fun. So it doesn't always have to be. What do you think that his belief that he can truly do anything he wants, something that, I like to believe myself, and I know a lot of people do, is the true basis of being an alpha? Do you think that's the first, like, is that confidence the first alpha trait, or what's the highest trait to make you an alpha male?
I think, and alpha male means a lot of different things. Alpha females, there's a lot of alpha females out there. I think partially, but I mean, that can waver, as you know. You have a big downfall and you're like, people are turning on you and where'd everybody go and that kind of stuff. That happens a lot in the fight game, and I'm sure you've felt it also. You're like, okay, you get a realization of who is who, but that inner confidence and a lot of times the alpha male mentality is they're kind and they're encouraging and they bring people up and they want, because they don't have to, there's not a confidence thing where you have to break people down.
Dominate.
It's a domination by being,
compassionate,
good and compassionate and
collaborative
and that kind of stuff. A leader, someone who's a leader. So, but that inner confidence is really important. And that's like me also when we talk about the different things that you get pulled in different directions. Yeah. As long as you're not getting too far away, you can always go back to the things that you love. And that's me. I built my gym, which is, I like to get you guys down and check it out sometime. Maybe go on my podcast. I started just a little bit ago.
I'm in. Yeah.
And then, check out, it's kind of like my little fantasy factory. I have, my office is set up there and we have a lot of things going on. But at the end of the day, I'm still around what my passion is and what I'm great at. Yep. Still, I get up early and have a few hours of mentoring and coaching with the next generation of guys. And then I go into business and then I go into, being with the baby or whatever is next. But I'm not far away from a fight. Like, I could jump in and fight at any moment because I built a skill so high and I didn't get too far away from it. And that's kind of the next.
That's your grounding.
You talking about UFC?
Yeah.
Are you going to get back in the ring?
Possibly. I'm doing a big grappling match in the UK on the 25th. And there's a lot of stuff happening in the weight class right now.
Yeah, tell us about that. You got a fight coming up with an 18-year-old. That's just like
Nikki
a psycho.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
didn't know
What's
about
going on
this.
with this? I saw you promoting this.
What's his name?
So his name's Nicky Ryan. His brother's name is Gordon Ryan.
You're gonna kill this kid, bro. I haven't looked at him yet.
I don't know, bro.
No,
this
no.
dude, this seems like
I'm the underdog.
Bro, strictly experience, man.
But you're not.
Bro,
You're
so
not.
he
Are you only grappling?
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's
You're
part
not
of
punching.
That's part of what got me going on wanting to fight is because, I don't like to talk when someone is getting on my nerves or I'm itching to get in there and fight. The reason I retired was because I just felt like it. I was like, I think it's time to go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you
He
lose
looks way
to this
different
kid,
than
we're
that.
gonna
Wait a
have some
second,
problems.
stop, dude.
This guy's
No, bro.
this guy's
Watch
a
his
stud.
video. Watch some of his videos.
This guy's just cleaning house on
No,
everybody.
no.
Well, check out his brother too, Gordon Ryan. Giving you guys some love, Nicky and Gordon.
Are you boys with him? Wait,
Yeah, I'm boys.
No,
with
that's
him.
the wrong guy. That's Paulo Miyagi.
That's Paul Man. He's like a 7-time world champ that I went against.
Go to his IG. No, you got his IG.
Dude,
pulled up
that
in
looks like the
corner.
kid that bags my groceries at Stop and Shop.
You
Like,
watched the
there's no
video.
way you're fighting this little kid, dude.
Bro, we're not fighting.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
jiu-jitsu.
Nah, but
Oh, okay.
still, I mean,
Yeah.
let's
That's
see.
that's him right there.
What's,
You got to see that one.
What's going on here?
What? Wait a second.
Been itching to compete. This young stunk has been rocking the BJJ world. Without a doubt, one of the best on the planet at only 18 years old. Oh, yeah, so he just rips people's arms off.
No, he's super technical. And he's been on home study since he was like 14, just doing jiu-jitsu all day.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yo,
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
come on.
Yeah, put yourself out there.
Jiu-jitsu is one of those things, especially the technical guys. My
Yeah.
first BJJ
Well,
tournament.
first off, I am planning on winning, so you guys can take.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So just don't pull a Tyron Woodley on us, all right? Because the last time we had someone on that talked about how confident they were, we put 30,000 on it and fucking didn't work.
The fight game is a tough game, but what I've learned training for this, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna, and that twerk video is hilarious. It's the little kid that steals the show. That's a good video. Watch this. This is what I would be doing if I had these role models.
Looks like me when the podcast is over.
Watch this.
Oh, what a G.
He's
Oh, what a
hell
G.
no, bro.
Oh, my God. They have no
still
idea. I'm
He's
so...
like, he gets inspired by the next moves right here. He's like, oh no, okay, I'm stepping up my game. Here it is.
I'm glad this is on your Instagram.
Yeah, this is incredible. Oh, he's going in.
Oh, he's after it, bro.
Twerking is really just making the youth so wise and intelligent
He's like,
and forward
hey.
thinking. He's like, yo, what's good? Yo,
What's
this
up?
kid's great.
It's amazing.
It sucks that he's already balding.
Yeah, that is.
Whatever.
But anyways,
Bro, the first time...
so when I started training for this jiu-jitsu, it just made me realize like I like training for MMA. And then and a lot of things are happening. TJ Dillashaw just got scooped for something illegal
Yeah,
and
I saw
all that
that.
kind of stuff. And he'll probably be coming back. But if I don't do it now, it's not going to happen.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, because I'm getting older. And I know some of my peers, I talked to a guy, Murillo Bustamante, who fought till he was 46 with the highest level guys. And he's never taken any PEDs or anything. And he was in Pride and everything else. He was a stud. He came down to my gym and kind of gave me a pep talk. And I mean, it's definitely very, very tempting. I'm thinking about hopping in after my birthday and getting a couple in. We'll see.
I mean, bro, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Who would you want to fight?
Well, the guy, I mean, TJ's out because he's on suspension now, at least for a year. If he's only there for a year,
For a year?
at least for a year, we don't know exactly what's going on. If
Oh
that
my
comes
God.
back, but I don't know.
That's ugly.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to take a lay of the land.
What about
and see.
McGregor?
I just talked to McGregor.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
What's he
how's he
doing?
doing?
What's he up to?
He's balling, bro.
Yeah.
He's balling. He's out. I think he took somebody's phone and smashed it because they wouldn't leave him alone.
yep.
And he's got,
Happens.
this going on. But he got 2 kids and he's loving life. He said he retired like the day after I said I was possibly gonna come out of retirement. and then I think he's just jockeying for position, trying to get
for
a
real?
piece of the company. But that guy's a baller, man. He knows what he's doing.
Are you in the same weight class as the dude that we watched get slammed at what's that dude's
Ben
name?
Askren?
Ben?
Bro,
No.
did you see that
Yes.
slam? So we were there when that
Yo, that
happened.
dude's a clown, bro. That dude is a clown. I know
He's
a troll when I
hilarious.
see one.
Oh.
But he also is a kind of a warrior, bro. Like he was
He's an
unconscious. Like
Olympic. He medaled for us in the Olympics.
we were like, yo, you ref have to call the fight right now. Like it was bad. Like he was basically just like a
No,
zombie,
I never gave
dude.
up on him. I was
like, yo, this dude's done.
Nah,
bro.
I was like, trust. Yo,
Yeah.
but I mean, no offense, Ben, but like he's got a dad bod, like for real.
Unbelievable.
How does that work?
They're in right now. Dad bods are in.
They are in. They are in.
For fighters? Like, I don't know.
So Ben is literally, they call in college, he had the weirdest, strangest style. And he's like a unique cat. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Like, it's
something
comical.
doesn't seem right here.
But he's got that self-belief, bro. That self-belief goes a long way. And then he's got years and years and years of becoming an extreme master, Olympic level master at one of the most important disciplines in our sport, which is wrestling.
Yeah. That's how, I mean, he just grabbed the dude by his neck in the last one. And
he's so funny.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He roasts people on Twitter. He crushes watermelons. I'm obsessed with his Twitter.
He asked Logan to go, what was it, canoeing in Minnesota?
Some random adventure activity. I'm down, by the way. We can go crush watermelons.
Do it.
But
he's a beast.
And why I can relate is when I wrestled, there was this kid from Loveland, Ohio. His name was Gunnar Lay. And
that's a sick name, by the way.
Gunnar Lay. I mean, he was born to wrestle.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a warrior.
Yeah, and he was, man. But he was a little chody, if I'm being honest. And me, I'm coming in like 6 foot, like kind of jacked. And I thought I was going to wreck this kid, but his record said otherwise. I'm like, I'm not sure what makes it so
what's
great.
happening here?
Beat me twice.
Wow.
One of the 2 kids I lost to that year. So you just don't let men's physique ever dictate how powerful,
especially height, dude. That's one thing you can learn the hard way. Like going at somebody because they're shorter than you can become problematic.
Yeah, I would imagine so. It's hard to find someone shorter than me that I want to
fight. Did you have a problem with the Askren stoppage? There was a lot of talk about on that fight when he got slammed and then he choked out the dude.
I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, in retrospect, I mean, it's the same thing people asked about like TJ's stoppage and everyone else's stoppage. And I had probably 2 stoppages that were like, dude, why the hell did you stop that? We're risking our lives literally day in and day out fighting the best guys on the planet. Sometimes hours a day, 3 to 5 hours at times, and we have 15 minutes or 25 minutes to fight. Don't be so compassionate for us, referees. Like, let us get our heads stomped in for a second.
I like that, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're like the cream of the crop when it comes to tough dudes on the planet. Like, we're okay with an extra punch every once in a while. And so it's a fine line.
Well, they're walking a really fine line too, because technically it's their job to make sure you don't die in there. And so to your point, I understand.
And I agree with that. Sure. Yeah. But like if there's a question at all, like because somebody's going to pass out, like I had a fight against Kaseo Mizugaki where I was squeezing him. I didn't let go till the ref pulled him off. And the ref was super late. So it looked like he was dead. Like his eyes rolled back and I was probably squeezing for like 10, 15 seconds past when he had passed out. Yeah. And so that was a scary moment. But what happened? He just woke up.
How long does it take before like brain asphyxia starts to like be a problem?
I think it takes a couple minutes.
Oh, okay.
Has anyone ever died in the Octagon?
There has been on some smaller shows, but what you got to understand about our sport is some of these unsanctioned shows or shows on any casinos or the lower level guys, they'll let anybody fight. Like you could go, I shouldn't say just let anybody fight, but for an amateur going into the pro, whatever, there's some ways where if you wanted to get in a fight, you could get in a fight. And so there's been some scenarios where guys had past, physical issues and there have been some deaths here and there, but it's not like a rampant thing. In the UFC, there hasn't. In Pride, there hasn't been. In Bellator, there hasn't been. In ONE FC and all the big shows, there has not been. But it is a dangerous sport.
It is dangerous, but that's what I thought. It's not, I wouldn't say like fatal, but boxing is, correct?
Boxing, there's been some fatalities and the difference is it's concussive blows over and over again. You can stop. They let you recover for 10 seconds, then go back in to get a beating. And it's not super prevalent, but it does happen. And so, you're looking at a sport that's, one of the oldest sports on the planet is boxing.
Yeah.
And these guys sometimes are getting hit in the head starting at, 8, 9, 10 years old if their dads are crazy enough, having them spar and whatnot. So accumulation of stuff, and then you're going with the guys that hit the hardest on the planet. They're literally dangerous weapons. So it has happened in the past, but it's not like super prevalent.
What are your thoughts on Bellator and UFC and the future of the sport? I mean, do you see? Has there been a decline in viewership? Like, what's next, or what's the future look like?
I mean, the sport's blowing up. I don't know if there's a small dip in viewership or whatever they're saying. They keep changing things up. Like right now, ESPN has the rights to UFC. It was Fox, and ESPN has their own plan from a business standpoint. I get what they're doing, like having their own platform where you have to download it and whatnot. Yeah. But the sport as a whole in the world is booming big time. ONE FC is massive over in China. That's where Sage just got signed for. That's where the Logan Paul Sage Northcutt fight will happen.
In China?
There we go. Yeah.
Where? Yeah. What city?
Well, Singapore might be good instead of China.
Oh, hey, I'm down.
Yeah. So honestly, so just so you know, Sage has in his contract that he can do a special bout and they will help co-promote it with a celebrity.
Talk to me about the racks, though.
Racks will be there, brother.
Oh, for sure.
Racks will be there, brother.
They got money in China. I know they got money.
This would be a worldwide thing. We'll talk more about it.
As someone, for me, I'm not very well versed in fighting. I'm like really new.
I find that hard to believe.
I know. I look like a very.
You look tougher than Nicky Ryan.
Yeah. He's lethal.
I am. I'm lethal in different ways.
I believe it.
Like if you got
cunning linguist.
If you got a plant, he will devour
he
it.
Is.
Or if I got to run very far distances,
he's an Iron Man athlete.
Yeah.
He's not telling you.
Yep.
I'm curious. What do you think? Fighting will always be a sport that's built for those underdogs, the people in like urban areas that have a tough background, or is fighting a sport where like wealthy people and established people are getting in and finding success? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's both, but I would say here, and BJ Penn's a good example of this. BJ Penn is in one of the toughest parts of the U.S. Hawaii unknowingly is a scrappy place. Like if you're in Hawaii, you scrap. That's just
Honolulu is spelled like that.
Yeah, all big time.
Yeah.
So, but he also has a family that's pretty well to do. But he grew up in Hilo where everybody's meshed together. So who has a better chance? The guy that has a family that's supportive with food on the table every day, who's still in the ghetto, or the guy that's struggling? I mean, in my opinion, people with a good family like support system or some support system, grandma, aunt, teacher, whatever, and the right mentality will have success. And it doesn't matter. If you look at Brazil, I can name a bunch of fighters that were extremely wealthy and some that were extremely poor that have had success. It's all on the individual. And we've met rich guys that are douchebags, and we've met rich guys that are cool as hell. Yep. We've met poor people that are on the same spectrum, some cool, some D-bags, whatever. It's really on the individual, and fighting is something that's internal. I think human nature is always going to be intrigued in the fight game.
Yeah.
But always. Money helps.
Hell yeah.
As long as you have the right mentality. Look at Floyd Mayweather. His dad and his uncle were successful boxers, and then he grew up in that life and took it to a whole another level.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I want to do the audio only Q&A. I want to dive in a little deeper, ask some juicy shit. So thank you for coming on Impaulsive.
Yeah, brother.
Uriah Faber, ladies and gentlemen. Where can they find you on social?
Just Uriah Faber on Instagram.
Easy. One of the coolest names ever, by the way.
So
I might name my son after you.
Second to Gunner Lay.
Gunner Lay's a good one. Gunner Lay's a good one.
You guys hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed. Thank you for watching audio only Q&A with Uriah Faber. Right now, you can find it on Spotify and iTunes. I fucking love you. See you next time. Peace.
And I just went, and hit the big one. Yeah. Oh, they're like trying to hit.
You dropped the big guy first,
I hit the big guy first, and he just went. And this is one of my best friends, and he's 5'2", and he's got 3 big Mexican guys trying to fight him at the moment.